I've been told by Chris Cody that Yeti Blanc, one of the producers on the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody, has produced 2 songs, one about bowling and one about Datter Day. We will get to those at some point during the show. But I owe Greg Cody an apology at the top of this segment because what he said while his lady was laced with something. It was not very warm. His lady was laced with something. Who cares, lady? Right. It was not. It did not rise to the level of sexism. It was simply and obviously total ignorance. He had no idea who Elle was, what her name was, and so he just simply dismissed her with a lady because he didn't know who she was.
So you're taking the L?
I am taking the L.
Wow.
Yes, I am.
That's a rarity right there.
I am taking the public L, but something that happened here that I was not expecting, and perhaps I should expect it in the modern age, Stugotz. I honestly was caught off guard, and it's hard in 2023 to be surprised that anything gets weaponized along political lines. But I was legitimately stunned that Travis Kelce dating Taylor Swift became a thing where people took sides, and now Travis Kelce is the symbol for something that is too woke or not man enough. Stain starts the conversation, as he often does, by, and there is money to be made in being a professional. Now, I've told you this before. There is a lane out there if you want to be a professional and say that Travis Kelce doesn't have a penis, he is not a real man. That guy doing that for a living, it becomes Travis Kelce is doing Bud Light and COVID shot commercials. He needs to fire all his marketing agents, or he needs to just go ahead and cut off his, become a chick and endorse Joe Biden. And that is a language that he is speaking to his customer base and clientele. And then Tim Miller comes back with MAGA mindset because we fight about everything. Winning the Super Bowl, getting paid to shill beer, and getting it on with the most famous woman in the world, gay, beta, being a fat slob who tweets his feelings about celebrities, masculine, alpha. How is it that at 54 years old, having witnessed what is happening in this country and on the globe for the last 7 years, that I'm still surprised that somebody can always find the lane to create the division that's necessary to get clicks on both sides of this? How do I get into the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift conversation by throwing a politics bomb in it, or a gender bomb in it, or a race bomb in it? Are any of you surprised by this? Because I was surprised that this became that. I thought 2 people could date quietly without Travis Kelce becoming a symbol that gets weaponized. I didn't have that one happening here.
It's not surprising when anything Taylor Swift gets weaponized this way, particularly because in the last few years, she went from country music star to pop music star. She eased her politics more toward the left at the same time, or at least became public about those. And so Taylor Swift becomes this sort of public enemy in this case. And when you have Travis Kelce as perfect public enemy number 1, when there's all these women coming into the fan base of football, masculine men, it's just interesting to me that Clay Travis would decide now is the time that trans women are actually women.
I asked you not to say his name. Go sit in the penalty box.
Oh, I forgot. Wow. You forgot. Oh,
but that
man.
was a great point.
Wow.
I don't care about the great point.
No.
It was good, though.
Stain, why don't you call him by what I said you should call him by, because you are not allowed to curse.
I won't. Poop Stain. How'd he play?
Pain.
Stugotz, I don't know whether you saw this or not, but there was a good old-fashioned sports radio fight.
Really?
Yes.
Those have gone by the wayside.
They really have.
Bring them back.
They are a bit endangered. You can imagine on AM radio, in 2023 that there aren't a lot of fights in sports as entertainment that are making their way into all of the streaming content that is competing for attention.
There's only 3 markets that are still doing it at a high level. New York, Philadelphia, Chicago. It has to be one of those 3. Oh, Boston. I'm sorry, 4. So it has to be one of those cities, right?
How do you know that those are the only 4?
Sports debate will never die in those 4 markets, ever. It will never die. As long as there's WIP and Howard Eskin, as long as there's WFAN, as long as there's WEEI, the sports debate in those cities will never, ever die.
It doesn't hit the same in Milwaukee.
No. No one cares in Milwaukee. I mean, seriously. Yeah. About anything.
So an hour from Chicago, no one cares about anything, but Chicago, they care about everything.
Nailed it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fight's going on right now about Justin Fields and this Eberflus guy. I mean, geez.
People from outside Milwaukee love to be like, oh, we're from Chicagoland, too. They don't even claim Milwaukee.
Fields doesn't have it. I'm telling you. He holds the rock too long.
Let's go.
Do we call it a rock in football?
To WFAN.
I told you.
Let's go to, this is Joe Benigno. This is a great name. He looks like sports radio.
Joe B.
He is wearing, just so that you know, he's got a Jets jersey behind him. He's got a Jets cap on. He's got a sweatshirt that says New York. And Tiki Barber is trying to out-New York him by also having a sweatshirt on it that says New York. But those are Yankee colors that Tiki Barber, Giants colors that Tiki Barber's wearing.
The Jets jersey that Joe B has behind him is Don Maynard's.
That's right.
Wow.
Just so that you know, Benigno is older than Greg Cody. He's like
older than Don Maynard.
I hope so.
He looks like he's older. Let's play this clip here of Benigno and Tiki Barber arguing about how much of a Jets fan Tiki Barber actually is.
Wilson could process? Well, what are we talking about?
I'm not.
That's
the offense.
you hit it on the head. That's the difference.
The
Niners dumped the number 1 draft choice after a year and a half or 2 years because they knew he couldn't play.
Bingo.
And my team continues
it's not
to
that they
trot
knew he
out this
it's not that they knew he couldn't play.
Tiki, let me tell you right now.
They knew that
you
Brock
hate
Purdy
the
was
Jets. You would love to see the Jets go 2-15. Stop it.
I love
You're
Nate
a
Hackett.
Giant.
I do not
If
I
this
do
was the
not hate the
situation
Jets.
with the Giants, you'd be screaming to get Wilson the hell out of there.
First of all,
so
I never
don't
scream.
give me this nonsense.
First of all,
right,
I never
Tiki?
scream because I watch and I analyze. And
Okay,
I,
well,
and
you
I,
can
and I-
analyze
and I-
all
and I-
you want, but
and
maybe
I try to find
you,
reasons
look,
why things
all
are
I know
happening.
is this. Yesterday, you were in Washington with the Commanders and the Bills, okay? Were you not?
I was.
Okay. So don't give me this nonsense how you're analyzing Zach Wilson. Well, okay? I don't want to hear it.
All right.
It's BS.
All right,
Tiki.
Joe.
He
Sounds good. I'm
stinks.
turning my mic off, buddy.
He stinks.
No, but here's what I know that frustrates me related to a point you just made. Mike White has thrown for 300 yards in more games than Zach Wilson ever has.
Ever.
And what's frustrating is, yes, Zach Wilson was taken high. And yes, guys are pulled back and taken later.
Tiki Barber threw the headsets at the microphone and stormed off.
Professional.
He's just mad because Michael Strahan took all of the jobs that Tiki Barber was supposed to have, and now he is just sitting next to, did I pronounce his name right? Joe Benigno? Did I pronounce it
Joe
right?
Beningo.
So there are 3 N's in his name?
And
Beningo?
3 fines, yes.
Wow. He is 1 year older than me, by the way. Thank God.
Joe B.
Yeah.
Don Maynard?
He's a few years. Yeah, he's got me by a few, I believe. I'd have to look that up.
That is quintessential New York sports radio. So is this, by the way. This is Mike Francesa, Stugotz.
Yeah.
This is before the draft, okay? This is sound of Mike Francesa before the draft on Zach Wilson.
All right, the Jets with the 2nd pick. You think they're going to take the kid from BYU or not?
Absolutely. If they don't, I'll fall off the chair. He is absolutely going 2nd, and if the Jets don't take him, I you know what? Jet fans should just mail their tickets back if they don't take him.
Oh, you love him that much? You love him that much, huh?
I think he's clearly the 2nd player. I love the Clemson quarterback. I love Lawrence. I think he's going to be a top player. I think that kid at BYU is really good. I think Wilson's a superb player. I think he's going to be a very good player. I think that's where they should go.
Now let's listen to Mike Francesa after Zach Wilson's last football game.
Listen, this is just reality. Zach Wilson can't win right now. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to win. And you can't play this quarterback. He can't play. Get it? He can't play. He is a terrible. He's not bad. He is a terrible quarterback. He is past bad. He leaves bad behind. I can think of a lot of bad quarterbacks who I would take in a second over him. He doesn't have a clue. Because he is not a detriment. He is a complete zero.
Why is he talking like that?
Was there a waterfall behind him? Was he from? Was he in a not a big waterfall, not like Niagara, but just a cascading small
like
regional,
the one in your living room,
like that one? Yes,
it's like a sound you would hear on an app or something.
Sounds like old school AM radio.
Whitty is weeping somewhere.
That made me sad. He used to be so loud and sharp, and that just didn't seem like that. Like, I feel like age is catching up to
Lost his fastball.
Yeah, the Pope may have lost his... Whoa, you almost got me to say it.
I can't believe you've even ventured anywhere near it. You loved bothering Francesa. You loved when people would call. Your favorite thing about Francesa is the last 10 years of callers calling just to bother him and then watch him on the skyscraper like King Kong just swatting at helicopters with his annoyance.
Correct. I mean, is that not everyone's favorite part of that? I would actually listen sometimes on an app to WFAN driving home for like over an hour just to hear if I got to that live. Because obviously everyone follows like the Twitter account where you just get the clips. But like I wanted to feel like I was experiencing it and seeing how out of the blue they would come. And oof, that's some serious sports radio talk the rest of the time.
But Billy, it's gonna die. All of it's gonna die unless Tiki Barber and Beningo keep it alive by fighting and throwing their headsets at microphones. All of it will. It's already endangered.
Beningo was just a guest. I mean, Tiki's the host of the show. It would have been great if FAM replaced Tiki the very next day with Strahan. Or me.
How often are you bowling, Greg Cody?
Wednesday nights. I'm in my first league since the 1980s. Believe it or not. Since before Christopher was born.
The hamstring has gotten better.
Are you someone who...
From the 80s.
I would imagine you bowl about 130s, 140s, not much higher.
Wow. Nailed it.
I bowled a 179 last week. I was pretty proud of that.
Nice.
For average, you pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, well, again, I haven't bowled in more than, 40 years. So,
right.
We're coming around. We're getting our game back.
I don't like this, by the way. Chris Cody started a team, and he needed people on his team, and his dad came in to kind of bail him out and tries to bowl on his team. And all Christopher does is criticize him and how he bowls.
All I said was that Dan nailed his average. That's exactly what he averages.
Well, what does Batman have to do with this?
Yeah, seriously. Batman's never seen me bowl. No, I'm coming around, man. I'm coming around. I'm confident now on the 7 and 10 pins, which I didn't used to be, to pick up a spare. Single pin spares can be intimidating, like 3-foot putts. And we're coming around. We're gaining control. We love our new ball. Thank you, the guy who drilled my ball, whose name I can't remember.
Not important.
Used to play on the PBA tour. I'll think of it and get back to everybody on
right.
that. Rob Comito. Thank you, Rob Comito from Scalia's. And
you are giving an acceptance speech for an average score of 130
for a new
Yes,
ball.
I am. That's correct.
Okay.
Well, we're
Great
coming
ball.
around. Yeah.
Perfect ball. Love my ball.
He's back, Dan.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show, Juju. Are you likely to get any better at bowling after 67?
No, you will. Believe me, I'm still getting there.
You stop going for speed and more for accuracy, right?
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
I throw like a 13, 14 mile an hour ball, which is not fast. I have a 15-pound ball now, which is a little bit heavy.
That's heavy, yeah.
Andy is my ball, and Andy's a little heavy for me, but I'm getting used to that. And I'm getting good pin action now. Because because I throw a slower ball, I need a heavier ball to get that scatter, to get that pin action. Bowlers out there, y'all know what I'm talking about. So we're loving it. I talk a lot on the latest podcast episode of the Greg Cody Show. I talk about how infatuated I am with bowling, the whole atmosphere, the sound of the pins, the caricature of the bowling lanes, all the characters in the house. It's a magical, magical thing. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss Wednesday night's game because I'll be at the Inter Miami U.S. Open.
Were you going to tell the coach that, or
I was not? No. No.
How did we land on Andy?
Andy is just it's a fun name. You know, I wanted to it's a male ball, and so I wanted a name that was fun loving. You know, I've already used Charlie for Jumpin' Charlie, my dog, and I wanted
Bill.
to. I think it was probably harken back to the Andy Griffith infatuation of my Ute. So Opie sounded kind of dumb to name a bowling ball. So I went
I need
with
to
Andy.
stop you. Forgive me, because
everyone slow down.
I want more. I want more Andy, but Stephen A. Smith is putting together his top 5 NFL lists.
Oh boy,
Stephen A's list. And
Steven's A-list.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a fine.
Sometimes it becomes Mad Dog's A-list, and it gets a little confusing when we lose the plot. But this is Steven's A-list, and we're at the top 5 NFL teams for those of you just joining us.
Thank you, Billy, for getting us up to speed. Number 5 is the Chiefs.
Yep.
Number 4 is the Bills. Number 3 is the Eagles. If
I
he
like where
puts
this is
if he
headed.
puts the 49ers number 2, I think you know who's going number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Do
And
it,
if he puts
Steven.
the Dolphins number 2, I think we know who's going number 1.
Talk dirty to me, Steven.
Where are we? He's going to put number 2 up there, and number 2
Talk
is the
dirty.
49ers.
Best team ever.
Dan fell.
Yes.
Dan's down.
Let's make it official. Let's make it official.
Wait a minute, guys. Hold on,
Guys, calm down.
Whoa. Careful with Greg's roller in there.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
We did it.
We kick the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl, cause we're the Miami Dolphins.
Sing it, Lucy.
Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1.
Dan,
We're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1.
I am really confused by Stugotz's participation
I'm
in
a
this
Jet fan.
as a Jets fan.
Yeah, I don't get
Yeah,
what's
but
going
I
on there.
adopted the Dolphins. You remembered it.
There you go.
Right, yeah.
I remember you requesting the rental of a team. Can we play the Saturday song, please, now? I need to catch my breath. I am disheveled.
What a day!
I am falling apart. We've just won the Super Bowl in Miami because Steven's A-list on the 3rd week of the season has proclaimed the Dolphins the best team in football. All they had to do to get it was score 70 points on Sunday.
Ain't got no time for your application. No substitution with 2 friends. Oh, Saturday will be so exciting. Get some fertilizer. Saturday! 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 Saturday!
That, of course, is the Dark Knight doing karaoke.
I want to hear more.
He is winded now. He is not cursed for several
You caught me.
segments. He is chewing.
I was in your arms.
I did catch you. Lighter than I imagined you'd be.
Thank you.
Wow, first time he's ever heard that.
Totally.
Lucy, why was your weekend such a disaster? You went out. We were all excited about this. You're excited about making college football trips on the company dime every weekend. Why was this one such a disaster?
Because Iowa played. That's why. I flew all the way to Pennsylvania, which, by the way, State College, impossible place to get to.
The worst.
We had to stay 2 hours away. 2 hours away. So we get up bright and early, and we're like, we're going to drive there. All right, vibes are high. Actually, they weren't that high. My dad and I in the car, we were like, hey, at what point do we leave?
Wow.
What score is bad enough that we go? That's how little faith we had. But part of me, deep down, was like, you know what? Iowa will get a defensive touchdown. They'll do it. They do that all the time. That's our best scoring unit. Oh, my God. We get there. It's 40 degrees and raining. It's freezing. And it's not like casually raining. It's not sprinkling. It's pouring rain. So, all right, the weather's bad. The vibes are bad. It's supposed to be white out, this really cool tradition. It wasn't that cool. It was just all the people wearing the same color. It wasn't that nice. And then the Penn State fans, they were so nice to us walking into the stadium. They were so nice. And I said, this is weird. Something about this doesn't feel right. The second we walk in there, they're so mean. I was actually scared. For the first time in my life, I walked into a stadium and I was like, someone might do something. Like, I shouldn't be wearing all this Iowa stuff. Then it didn't matter. It didn't matter because Iowa had 76 yards of offense. Your team scored 70 points. We had 6 more yards of offense than you guys had points.
You got him.
4 first downs. I didn't even see half of them. 4 fumbles. I'm broken and I'm sad.
And who was singing Sweet Caroline?
Oh my God, we were trying to leave. I was down I think it was 27 or something. We're like, you know what? This just isn't going to work out. Let's go. And we tried to leave, and all the Penn State fans stood in the aisles, and they blocked us, and they sang Sweet Caroline. Wow. And it was miserable. And the worst part is there were some nice Penn State fans who were like, hey, it's not that bad. Somebody will get fired because of this. No, they won't. No one is ever going to get fired, ever. And then in Kirk Ferentz's little press conference after the game, he was like, I'm not going to change anything just because of one bad game. One bad game? I was 131 out of 133 in total offense in so many. I can't.
Who are those 2 other offenses?
I think it's like New Mexico or something. And it's so bad. And our offense is tracking to be worse than last year. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know that was allowed. We had... I will say, positive, our punter looked phenomenal. Wow. Oh, my
He's always
God.
out there. I mean.
Torrey Taylor, he is the best player on the field. It was the worst. The worst.
Sweet Caroline is bad under most circumstances. Yes. People shouting it at you as a jeer. Yeah. That's how they were doing. They were taunting you with it.
They taunted us the whole game, and they were not. No.
Terrible.
I'm getting
terrible.
No.
I imagine
so
that song
bad.
playing at the gates of hell.
No, that's what it felt like. And also, Penn State, after every play, plays this stupid little cat growl that's so annoying. Wow. So annoying. The whole thing was bad, and I hate the Ferentzes, and I can't anymore. I hate them.
When it began.
No,
please don't.
Yes,
please don't.
yes.
No.
Close us out with The Dark Knight does
I
Sweet.
begin to knowing, but I know it's growing strong.
I don't think those are words.
Was in the spring, Rachel, and the spring pretend to shit.
No. Andy. As the name of a bowling ball. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do you know anybody in the world that you think would name their bowling ball Andy? Do you also, put this on the poll, do you name your bowling ball at Le Batard Show?
Well, so your bowling ball has a place to put your name on it, right? You could. So
You
does
could.
it say your name or does it say Andy?
I don't have my bowling ball is brand new. I've only used it 3 or 4 times, and I haven't had it inscribed with a name. So,
When you do, though, Greg or Andy?
I think it would say Andy.
Yeah, it makes sense.
How'd you settle on the 15-pounder? That's a bit heavy.
My bowling guy, Rob, suggested that. I normally use a 14-pound ball. And to me, psychologically, 1 pound more is heavy. It's just I would notice it. But he could tell just by the way I was handling it that it wasn't too heavy for me.
Thrilling story.
And it's helped. So, Andy has come through for me. The good thing about having a bowling ball named after you is that when I'm up there in my routine.
It's not named after you.
It's named after Andy.
But having I'm up there in my routine, and once in a while, if I really need a mark, I'm going to say, "Come on, Andy."
Right.
And nobody hears it but him.
Talk to the ball.
Nobody else hears it.
Right.
Little kiss,
so it's
baby.
Yeah.
A good boy.
Yeah, it's like our little thing.
And sometimes the ball will talk to you. Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got your back. That type thing. And then I roll a gutter ball. No, but I don't do that. I'm better than that. So it's fun. I'm loving bowling like I never thought I would. I heard bowling had died. Every Wednesday night, the lanes are full. It's like I'm in Times Square. The pageantry, the color.
You're
the
most
sound.
certainly
Are you in New York?
not in Times
I
Square.
am
Full
in
of sadness.
Times
He's in
Square.
Times Square, yeah.
You should go to my podcast
I hate Times
and
Square.
hear me rhapsodize about bowling because nobody loves bowling.
I'd love
like
to
me.
hear Back in My Day on bowling. Do you have a Back in My Day today?
I don't. No. It's
Quality control week.
Yeah, it's a mental health maintenance week, and so I didn't overexert myself with that. But you're right, bowling might not be a bad idea.
I thought it would be endangered. I don't imagine bowling being as popular as it was in the 1980s, but I might have that wrong. We mentioned earlier last week, we mentioned that Miami doesn't have many bowling alleys anymore. Used to have more bowling alleys. I don't think of it as a flourishing business. Do you? Why are you looking at me that way?
I think bowling alleys had their best year ever last year. I'll look it up. I'll check it out. But I'm pretty certain that
Not
bowling's
indeed.
never been more popular.
Well, that's not true, but also there's more than one. Like because you now have like the bowling where you can glow in the dark at malls and stuff like that. Like you have a traditional bowling alley in Bird Bowl. Don Carter's Kendall Lanes closed, unfortunately, RIP. That one was a big one, Greg. I don't know how you feel about Don and Paula Carter.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, legends of the game.
Very much so.
That one you would walk in, and there was, I'd say, a good 49 lanes on each side.
Yeah.
There's a 2-sided bowling lane. Huh.
Yeah,
Bowling heaven. Mecca.
The heyday of bowling was probably in the 80s, and just to give you a small example, in Broward County, there used to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 35, 38 bowling lanes. Now I think it's down to like 6, one of which I bowl at every Wednesday night. I'm not going to name the alley because I don't have an endorsement deal with them.
Strikers.
But
Times Square.
that's right. But Andy likes it. He likes the lanes, and who am I to argue?
Greg, could you see bowling going the way kind of tennis where pickleball shortened the court? Maybe you shorten the lanes a little bit. You have maybe a shorter lane bowling type thing, have it catch on again?
In New England, they candlepin bowl.
Really?
Yeah, the candlepin.
I love it. Yeah, it's
you
great.
know what I mean. Yeah, it's
smaller balls.
Smaller balls and smaller pins, hence the name candlepin. I've tried it once or twice. I don't get it. I don't get why it's better. But bowling's not even bowling anymore. Nowadays the old-fashioned 3-fingered ball like I still use, it's a thing of the past.
Huh.
Now it's 2-fingered balls. Everybody's like throwing the ball.
How many
doing
holes
it
does
sideways.
Andy have?
3.
Good.
We're a traditional
Good bowlers use 2
bowling
fingers,
ball.
2 hands nowadays.
No, I say I reject that. I reject
All the
that.
best bowlers in the world, 2-handed, 2 fingers.
I'm a 3-finger man.
Do you do the inserts in the hole?
What are you laughing at? I'm going to get a T-shirt made saying I'm a 3-finger man. What's wrong with that?
That's not, yeah.
Hell yeah. Baby! Why did I go baby?
Mike, I don't know.
What does that have to do with anything?
Mike Ryan.
And you know it.
Bowling alleys were on a steady decline up until 2012, and they have taken a turn. In fact, last year, more people went bowling than any year in recorded history.
I don't believe you.
That
can't be true.
I don't
Check it out.
believe you at all.
Bowling.com. It's there for you.
Bowling.com.
That is hard to believe.
Go ahead, read from it.
I just did.
No, please read.
That's all it said.
Read another sentence.
I want more.
That's the end of the story.
Please give us another paragraph.
More people went bowling. It's on the declines.
Click on something else
Since
at
what year?
bowling.com.
2012, and then steady increase. And last year, over 108 million people went to a bowling lane to bowl. How about that?
Please keep reading more.
I added the how about that. That was not in the article. Yes.
An article
Should've
on
been.
bowling.com. Mike Ryan, why are you here? You have returned. You had left and discussed before because of Greg Cody's messy opinions.
Right.
Why have you returned?
I've been following the show along. You guys like to have fun, huh? Yeah. That's the dolphin thing. That was a lot of fun. But I've been watching the show, and I've noticed something off. Huh. And I think Stugotz is trying to take everyone here for an idiot. Because there is something very different today about Stugotz. And I'd like to give you guys some evidence. Studio team, can you please put up the still from yesterday's God Bless Football? Great show, hosted by Stugotz and the Duke Billy Gill. If you see Stugotz's face there, you'll see someone that's been aging rapidly since Dead and Company got back together. But you'll see on his face a lot of salt, not that much pepper. Now let's couple that with today's shot of Stugotz, and you'll see right here on Sector 3 on the face, there is a bit of a difference. I'm going to walk in there and point out exactly what I'm seeing. I am accusing Stugotz of dyeing the beard.
No.
Got a laser pointer?
No.
He's been texting me about this the entire show. I mean,
You look great. You look great.
You look great.
You're also wearing the exact same clothes yesterday and today.
No, a little different. That's the black one. This is the blue one.
Right here.
Sweatshirt. Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
There is something going on.
Do the other side of his
and
face.
there
Yes, Stugotz, turn your head, please.
There's
Look
a
at the
stain.
camera. There you go.
Yeah, show us.
Oh,
Mike.
wow.
No.
Looks
Nope,
good.
not the other way.
Okay,
Look
now
good.
you're facing the wrong way again somehow.
I see it, though. I see it.
No, still the wrong way.
Okay,
All right.
so is he willing to cop to it, or what is happening here? It does look
Pretty
a good,
obvious.
It does look a
at
good
that.
deal darker there.
That's
Yes.
Carlos Boozer right there.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's smoke from his cigarettes.
That's what it is. Yes.
So you're accusing him of both dying and lying.
Well, I mean, that's what I do.
Cop to it. Admit it.
Admit it.
I'm not going to admit it. All right, I'll tell you what happened. I was in makeup this morning. Now, yesterday there was a different makeup person in here, right?
Named?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Damn you, Billy.
Why would you do that, Billy?
Make something up.
Damn you, Billy.
Andy.
It wasn't Andy. Oh, God. Lucio.
It was not Lucio. That was like 7 makeup people ago.
I miss Lucio. But anyway, the
Myra.
makeup person, Myra.
Myra.
The
yes.
makeup person today, okay, I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for any of this. All of a sudden, I have brushes, I have foams, I have stuff on my beard that I didn't ask for. Now, I think it looks better today than it did yesterday, so she did a great job. But I didn't ask for any of this. But Mike is right. I mean, Sector 3 looks totally different.
But you're blaming Julia.
I'm not blaming anyone.
Her name's not Julia.
Oh, that's a fine.
Yeah, Julia was yesterday. Jesse's today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two different people.
Yeah.
Okay.
J&J, it's confusing.
$40.
I don't believe I should be fined.
Why? What? Who else should be fined?
For referring to the correct name of yesterday's makeup artist.
Well, that was yesterday, and we
Well, you were
already
trying to talk about
already
today.
detailed. We detailed what Stugotz looked like yesterday. He looks totally different today.
How's Sector 4?
Sector 4 is okay. There's, I mean, everything looks all right, but you have the Fat Joe line going, which is, it's just way too strong.
Right.
It provides such a contrast that the moment I saw you this morning, I was like, something's off. Something's off. It took me 2 segments, so kudos. But I'm on to you.
Kudos to who?
Either Jesse or Julia.
Good.
Congratulations, Stugotz, for being exposed and immediately burying someone else, blaming someone else.
Not blaming. I said she did a good job. I mean,
yeah, but she didn't, because you were just exposed by an I-team investigation. And did she suggest to you, like, how did...
she did not. She just did it. Listen, Dan, when I sit down in a makeup chair, okay, they're artists, and I don't question them. Whatever they think I need, I just let them do whatever they think I need to make, because I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the impossible, which is to make me look good. And so whatever she tells me I need every single morning, I just tell her, hey, do what you got to do. Don't ask me any questions. I'm good.
I wanted to go back for a second here, on something, Stugotz, that I didn't get to yesterday. It was funny watching in the Cleveland-Tennessee game the way that the Titans were sending two tight ends in motion wherever it is that Myles Garrett moved. Like Myles Garrett would be on the left side, and then he would go run to the right side.
He's always moving around.
And then they would just take both tight ends because it doesn't matter against him. His strength is remarkable. He just leans into you, and you cannot block him. He keeps going forward with his body leverage.
Even with that strategy, I'm pretty sure he set a career high in 3.5 sacks that game.
It is not a stoppable thing, him and Micah Parsons, but I wanted to use that as segue to the back and forth between Tyreek Hill and Micah Parsons. They play on Christmas Day. Tyreek Hill doesn't like being called a baby lion and keeps saying that he's going to hit Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons really isn't having any of that.
I just want to take a second on my guy, Tyreek Hill, saying he's the lion, and he said he got something from me coming off the edge. Hold on. Wait a minute, Tyreek. I'm letting you know there's a big difference between me and those other guys that you coming off the edge with. Listen, Tyreek, if you come over my way and I see you coming my way, I'm sending you to the tent. I'm sending you to the sideline. You're going to say, hey, coach, I don't want nothing to do with Micah Parsons. You don't want to do that. Hey, I already said it once, and I said on social media, my baby girl's getting cheetah print for Christmas. She's getting cheetah print. Come over here to my side, and my baby girl's getting cheetah print. But all love, my guy. What you doing right now, you really showing that let's argue about it, if you're wide receiver one. Is Tyreek Hill wide receiver one? I mean, we see what he's doing. We see what Justin Jefferson's doing. Who's wide receiver one? How are you going to argue it? These guys are lighting the league up right now. But the difference is the Dolphins are 3-0. The Vikings are 0-3. Who's going to argue it right now? Right now, we have to give it Tyreek Hill. He has to be the best wide receiver in the league because he's making the most impact.
All love, but I'm going to put you in the tent. If you block me, I'm going to put you in the injury tent. I'm going to block you so that it's a short trip for you to get checked out in the injury tent. And also, you're the best wide receiver in the game. That was a real sandwich of compliments in the middle with a threat right there.
Also, Tyreek Hill's jersey was hanging up right behind him.